Ah, bitch! I'm gonna get you for this!
Come on, man. We're all pain in the arse.
Hey, hey! Drop the right! Hoorah!
Surrounded. Drop the gun, right?
You! Yes, you! Give up the thing in your hands, or I'll drop it!
You sicko!
Hi and welcome to JJ's Productions, and yes, it is finally here. We've got Colorado Professional Mode. It's a silent assassin suit only approach as normal. First of all, make sure you end the cutscene on the word Colorado. Just press the button to exit as soon as you hear it. It's important for the Parvati kill. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate the 4 targets, all with drop or fall kills. It's the same routes that I've done in all the professional mode videos I've done up to now. So it's going to be interesting when Hokkaido comes, but I'm not worrying about that now. I'm just glad Colorado was out of the way. This one was a nightmare. So far the route is pretty simple. What you got to do is crouch run all the way up to this point here. There's a guard on the right who's going to walk past us. Just wait until he passes that post and then you can walk past. I'm going to say there's a guard on top of the water tower area. He's going to walk towards the camera about to take out. As soon as he's near to it, take the camera out. If you do it too soon, another guard can see it and there's more chance he'll spot you. Try and hug the wall as much as you can, otherwise it's easier to get caught. We're going to carry on running, and at this point we're going to take another camera out and it's going to distract 2 guards. It's hard for me to advise what to do at this point because the outcome is different each time. When you shoot the camera, sometimes the nearest guard responds to it and sometimes the guard next to him also responds. Sometimes he doesn't. At this point I was aiming to do a gun trick, but I realised he was already looking away. If I'd have shot, he would have heard the bullet and it would have been bullet impact noticed. So do what I did, just have a quick look on instinct to see if the guard has taken notice of the gunshot. If he has, you're going to have to just run past like I did. If he hasn't, you can just use the bullet trick and get past him using cover. At this point the guard in the window is looking. If you weren't fast enough, just wait till he's moved before lockpicking the gate. If you, like me, lockpick it and then sneak your way around. At this point it affects your time in which way you go about it. Because I was early, I couldn't get rid of both guards at the same time, so I had to do it one by one. If you were able to use the bullet trick, then the idea is both guards would hear that, and one of them would go to investigate the noise, the other one would go to investigate the smashed glass of the camera, I think. As it is, only one goes away, so that gives me an opportunity here to take out one of the guards. It's a bit of a shame because it doesn't have much of an impact on helping me root out, but it did just mean that there was one less guard in my way. Lockpick this door, and what we're going to do then is take out the guard in the basement. That's another important thing because he just gets in the way later on when we're taking out Ezra. Also, for some reason, he's a bit of a selfie hogger. That is just very weird and funny, but another reason I love Hitman. Once he leans back against this little piece of cover, Subdue will appear and then just take him down. We need this basement area clear for later on with Ezra, as I've said, but also leave the gun. It's a small thing, but it just slows down Ezra's route. It means that when you get down here, there's more chance he'll actually be nearby, so it just saves going back and forth on everything. So now that the body's hidden, what we're going to do is go upstairs and we're going to tamper with the grandfather clock. This is important because we're going to do a double kill. We're going to kill both Sean and Penelope with the chandelier. To do that, we have to make sure Penelope hangs around in this little area and she'll comment on the grandfather clock. So take your time going up the stairs. There shouldn't be anyone looking at this point because I'm actually quite fast on the run, but make sure you're looking if you've had a different timing to me. Just make sure you get in this room as safe as possible. Part of the reason I put the bloopers in at the beginning is I wanted to demonstrate how difficult it is getting to this point. Again, there's a weird little moment here where I've got the positions of the guards quite nicely, but they were just moving as I was about to take one of them down. So what you need to do is move them. That's if you want to go fast. If you want to take it slow, you don't need to do what I'm doing here with the gun trick. You can just wait for them to go back to the position they were when I walked in. But I found this a little bit easier. Just use the gun trick. It makes him look at a wall. You can knock him out. And then it's just a simple knockout for the other guard. The reason we're doing it this way is because, well, first of all, we need both guards out of this room. But also, it just speeds things up. It gives more time to take out some other NPCs who are in the way, and it just means that when it comes to completing the first 3 kills, we aren't in a rush. I would also advise you not to pick up the gun. I would only pick up 1 gun anyway at a time at this point because we're going to use them as distractions. But if you are going to pick up the gun, make sure you don't pick up the other one, otherwise you're going to just get rid of 1 gun by doubling up on ammo. So just keep it simple as you're picking things up. The reason why we want the 2 guns is just as a precaution later on. You'll see that I end up accumulating quite a few weapons, and it's very good for little weapon distractions if you do need them. Next up, we need to take the guard out who patrols the hallway, and at the moment he's not in a prime position. He's talking to the guard and the hacker who are playing the video game. So we're just waiting for him to come back into the hallway, and then as soon as he's nearby, we're going to lure him into the room. As soon as he's inside the room, he'll see the guns and we take him out. It is important that we take him out for the simple reason that we need to be able to access this floor quite freely, but also we are going to take out the hackers in the 3D printer area. And to do that, we need to make sure we can actually move freely, so it's very important we get rid of him. If you're faster on your toes than me, you could always pick up a gun, put it in the bathroom and lure him into the bathroom as he passes by. Again, I just found this a little bit convenient because it was what I was doing in my original route, that being with the bullet distraction outside. So it was the idea, it was just nearby anyway, so it was easier just waiting for him there. But if you're a little bit faster than me and you don't get little glitches like that, it doesn't really matter which way you do it, you're going to have plenty of time. As you'll have noticed as well, there's only 1 wardrobe in this area, so it's not very easy to add bodies. My best advice is to try and tuck them in this little area. We don't want it in the bathroom because we're going to use that with the hackers, so just try and hide the body out of plain sight. I mean, as you can see, I just use the camera to frame it, and I think, right, it's going to be hard push for an NPC if they walk in deep into the room and I don't notice for them to see the body. So it's unlikely that would happen because if an NPC came in the room, you would see it first, but it just gives you that little bit of extra insurance in case someone turns their head and happens to see. Going back to the eliminations, we're going to shoot the hay bale and we need to shoot the rope at 6:52 on the clock. That's if you hit the exit button in the cutscene on the word Colorado. If you were too early or too late, it could impact on the second that you have to shoot. So just use a bit of common sense when you see Parvati moving, just have a judgment call and see if it's the right time. If she seems too early or too late, adjust accordingly. As you can see though, it was a good shot, good timing, and it was an easy takedown. If you can take her down without using a sniper rifle, because I'm just a poor shot even with the silver baller, if you can take her down at that distance with the silver baller, you don't need to bring the sniper rifle along. It's just a simple preference on my part. Now, as I've said, Graves is on there talking about the grandfather clock, Rose is underneath now, shoot the chandelier and drops, easy double kill. So there was a lot of build up there for 3 kills, but I hope it was worth it. We're going to take Berg down last because we're going to get the 3D printed mask next. There's going to be quite a lot of activity downstairs, so that is part of the reason for doing it. And it also means we can make use of the time up here. So we're going to lure 2 of the hackers into this room. The first one is fairly simple. I'll just use the cowboy bust because it's not breakable, and then I throw an apricot that I picked up outside before taking out one of the cameras. Once he's inside, use the bust and knock him out. Drag him into the room next door and just tuck him out of sight. Sean Rose's bodyguard will be coming up here very soon. So that's the reason I say keep him out of sight. Even though it's unlikely, the last thing you want is for a bodyguard to see a hacker's body. So just make sure it's as out of sight as possible. If it's not possible, just make sure you do what I do, keep an eye on the minimap. At this point I make a little mistake in throwing the bust, or more like the position of the throwing, because I end up luring the hacker from the room to the right, which we don't need to do. So at this point I'd just like to say, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying my series of videos regarding Hitman. Talk about just making a mistake and trying to turn lemons into lemonade. Moving on though, as soon as he's out of earshot, we're going to just try and separate the 2, but At this point, they're in a bit of a conversation and it's not easy to take them both out. It is possible. You could do leg shots on both of them and then go up to them quickly and knock them both out. But I'll admit, I'm just not confident enough at this point to try it. I know that if I do try it, I could end up getting caught by one of them. Plus, I'm fortunate I didn't do it, as Sean Rose's bodyguard is just about to come up the stairs, as you can see. So I'm very glad I didn't try and do a double leg shot, otherwise I would have been caught. Knowing the bodyguard's going into Sean Rose's room, I decide to take him out. So going through the bathroom entrance, take cover like I did before, and as soon as he goes to pick up a gun, knock him out. It's very straightforward. There isn't much need to hide his body, but if you want to, and I think I was just enjoying it at this point, just put it on the body pile. There's no one really going to come in this room now, so you don't have to tidy it up. It's just to make sure that no one will see it in the hallway or anything. So what we're going to do is just use the cowboy bust again. At this point it's near enough to the hacker's room so one of them will hear it, especially considering one was in the nearer room. So all you got to do is wait for his question mark to go away and then throw the bust again inside the room. It would be ideal if you could use another melee weapon here, so if you can take out the hail bale with the silver bullet, it's brilliant if you've got a melee weapon because it just speeds a lot of these takedowns. But like I say, if you can't, because you're like me, you need a sniper rifle to take it out, just make do with the bust. It's not hard. So from that point, we're going to just knock out the final hacker, and I was a bit unfortunate with the timing here in that just as I was about to go and knock him out, he was walking towards us and then facing this way. So I wasn't willing to wait around. I got my gun out and I just shot the ground so he'd turn around. What you do then is grab the bust, sneak up behind him and knock him out, or at least that's what was meant to happen. He didn't see me, but the animation looks like it, so don't worry about it from that angle. Equally, at this point, I look through instinct because there was an instance where I did this before Sean Rose's bodyguard had been knocked out, and he decided to come into the room to take a look. He didn't see the body, but it was a very close call, so if you're in my shoes, just make sure you have a quick look around, just in case there's a guard that you're not expecting to come and have a look. Last but not least, I'm hiding the final body, partly because I did this on one playthrough. I haven't completed the route and then tried it again. This is when I actually did it. So I wasn't 100% sure if Ezra Berg's body would be found after his kill. So I knew if his body was found, guards would go searching around the floor for him. Well, not necessarily for him, but for me. So this is what I was doing. I was picking up guns and laying them as distractions all around the doors to this room. That way, if anyone comes in here, they're less likely to see the bodies. It was just an insurance policy, but I'm glad I did it just to be safe. So, last up we've got Ezra, and he's just making his way to the basement, and he's going to have a bodyguard with him. So what we need to do is lure away the bodyguard. At this point though, I wasn't sure if he would come in alone or with the bodyguard, because it's the guy outside who went to investigate the camera. And sometimes he comes in, sometimes he doesn't. So I was using my instinct to see if he was coming in alone or not. He comes in with the bodyguard, so on the spur of the moment I decide I've got a breach charge, I'm going to use it to distract him. And lo and behold, it works. This is where I feel a bit silly though, because I managed to get Ezra knocked out, but I wasn't convinced about what was going to happen with the bodyguard. I thought that once Ezra was knocked out, the bodyguard would come back down the stairs, which he is about to go up. But he didn't. He does come back down here, but he goes in a full circle rather than looping back on himself. So I was looking the wrong way for a long time, and it just looks a mess when you watch it, so I am going to skip ahead at that point. I'm going to knock Ezra out, and then there's going to be a fast forward just while I look around trying to find this guy who's taking away the breach charge. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. So enjoy the knockout, and I'll see you in about 60 to 90 seconds. while it wasn't as long as I thought, it was 60 seconds, to thereabout, I saw the bodyguard coming just by luck more than judgment, so I got into a good position and knocked him out. You don't need to hide the body because no one's going to come down here. After that, what we're going to do is drag Ezra upstairs and then up the other stairs. You don't have to go all the way up to the top floor where the hacker room is, but you do need to take him up a certain amount just so that a prompt comes up saying dump/eliminate. I would actually advise though not to dump the body too far near the kitchen area, what you call it, or the intelligence room. Just dump it here where no one's going to see it. If you drop it too far to what is now the right, them in that room will see the body, and then it just becomes a complete mess because you've got to somehow get past them all. So if you just dump it where I did, you'll be fine, and then it's a clean run to the tornado shelter. And that is Colorado Pro. It was more complicated than I would have liked because of the kill conditions that I set myself, but I did enjoy trying to come up with some way of actually taking out Ezra Berg. He was the problem in all this, and I had actually got a different plan for Sean Rose. I was going to throw him out of the window in that room I was in his bedroom. So overall, I am completely glad how it ended up. So if you've enjoyed this, I would appreciate a like just for the effort, and if you're enjoying my Hitman videos, subscribe to the channel. Other than that, all I can say is this has been Josh from JJ's Productions, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.